Okay. In this video, we will see the uh, secretory tissue. So it is a specially modified tissue which perform a secretory function, means which secretes uh, so secretes mean enzymes, oils, gums, resins, latex. Okay. These tissues may be either in the form of a single cell or in the form of a small isolated patch or in a mass of cells, and which appear maybe in external as well as internal in different plants. So now we will see the classification of this system, secretory tissue system. So basically, this system was classified into two categories. One is based on the position. This is based on the position. One is external in position. Second one is internal in position. So here, external in position means the structures may be epidermal in origin or may be developed from subepidermal layers. So here you see external, maybe the origin may be from epidermal cells or may sometimes subepidermal layers. For example, if you see the trichomes and nectaries, digestive glands, hydatodes. So these are the external structures which secrete the function, which means which is for secretory function. As well, if you see the internal tissue, means several types of internal tissues are which are found in the plant may consist in a single cell or a complex mass of cells, so which perform the same function, so for examples, cavities, ducts, latiferous tissue which produce latex. So this is the basic classification. So here the same was shown here also. Now we will go one by one. So first thing is what is the special tissue or secretory tissue? So it is a specialized, specially organized tissue. Okay, which this tissue involved in the secretions like resins, essential oils, mucilage, latex, and similar substances together constitute this tissue. Okay, so generally two types of cells are found in this tissue. Clear? So in some plants, these special tissues means they formed different parts of the plant and exudate from this releases the some exudates. For example, nectaries, which produce nectaries. Clear? These are the external secretory tissues. In other words, in some plant, these special tissues which store the material into different parts, into different cells or different tissues, this stored material was released only after breakdown of the cell only. Unless and until we break the a particular part, the essential, stored material is keep in that plant. Cells are in the tissues only. Okay, for example, latex. Okay, oils, essential oils, some mucilages, some gums. Clear? So this is the definition. Now we will see one by one. First one is glands. So what is gland? So glands are well organized secretory structures composed of diverse types of cells. So the secretory materials are produced and liberated by the protoplast of the cells. The substances may be at once exudated from the ease of the formation of, as in the form of nectaries, okay, or they may remain stored in some cavity inside. So for your easy understanding, I will take a very well known example, that is the digestive glands. In plants also having the digestive glands, particularly the insectivorous plants having a special digestive glands, which produce a proteolytic enzymes. So proteolysis means enzymes which digest the proteins. Okay, this type of digestive gland generally you will see in insectivorous plants. These where the insectivorous plants are there, where they are growing, that particular place or in the soil, there is a nitrogen deficiency. So the plant make an alternative way to fulfill the nitrogen deficiency. For that, they take the insects, they trap the insects and digest the insect, and from that insect they absorb the nitrogen material. Okay, so from the insect body they get the nitrogen, then with this nitrogen they fulfill their deficiency, they fulfill their deficiency. So see, these are the two examples I'm just here observe here. So these are all glands. Here also you will see the secretory glands. This is a trap fly plant. So whenever the insect is visited the this plant, which trap the insects, and the same was digested by the secretions of this proteolytic or enzymes. So then they absorb the nitrogen material. Okay. So this is a best example is Drosera or sundew. This is a sundew plant. At the tip of each tentacle there is a gland. You see. Okay. So these are all tentacles, hair-like structures. On the tip of each tentacle there is a gland. So these are all extra cellular digestions involved in extracellular. The second example is Nepenthes, a pitcher plant. Okay, so digestive glands are present along the walls of a pitcher. So these are the best examples which possess the digestive glands. Next one is nectaries. So this is a very well-known word, nectaries. Here, see, if you see the nectaries, these are the special glands usually located on the floral parts. Generally, they located on the floral parts. So, generally, based on their position, means where they are found, means if they are found on the floral parts, they used to call them as a floral nectaries. If they present on vegetative parts other than flower, they are called extra floral nectaries. So one is floral nectaries. Second one is other than flower, extra floral nectaries. Clear? So whether it is a floral nectaries or extra floral nectaries, whatever it is a special gland. So which secrete the sugary substance or the nectar, also called as nectar, or in some plants that is which secrete honey, means the sugar containing substances. Clear? Generally, this nectaries are these sugary substances which attract the pollinating agents like insects, which attract the pollinating agent. Particularly, they attract the insects. Insects visit for this to get the nectar or to get this sugary substance. Okay, so for that only they used to visit the flower parts or vegetative parts. You see, so this is the insect. These are the extra floral nectaries, means this is on the leaf. See, these are the small glands. On these glands, or from these glands, insect try to suck the nectar. Clear? Okay, here also, just you see. So, their main function is which produce sugary substance or nectar which attract the insects. Clear? If they are present on vegetative parts, they are called extrafloral. So this is about the nectaries. So here next one is hydatodes. Next one is hydatodes. Here hydatodes are a specialized structures. So are nothing but a specialized water stomata. Hydatodes nothing but a specialized water stomata. You all know stomata. So generally we will see the stomata on leaves or in the green parts. Okay. So for example, like this is a stomatal structure. Clear? Here these hydatodes are nothing but similar to the stomata, and also we used to call them as a water stomata. Why we call them is a water stomata means through which water is released in the form of a liquid. Okay, so water is released in the form of a liquid. So this phenomena is called exudation or guttation, means escape of water in the form of liquid. See, this is the main function of hydratode. Just escape of water molecules or water drops in the form of a liquid. This process is known as guttation. So these hydrathodes are directly involved in this guttation process. So they are nothing but a small water pores. So we used to call them as a water stomata. But there is a big difference between this hydrathodes and stomata. In the stomata, there is an opening and closing mechanism. In the stomata, there is an opening and closing mechanism. So, but here these hydrathodes means they are at the tip or the margins of the leaf. They are always in a open condition. Clear? So there is no particular closing and opening mechanism. This is the main difference between the stomata and hydrathodes. Okay. Whenever the climate is humid, okay, and there is a rapid absorption of water by the roots, the excess water absorbed by the root means loss through the hydrathodes. When the climate is in the humid, the condition is in humid condition. Second condition is rapid absorption of water by roots, and in the humid condition or in the if the climate is humid, automatically the transpiration rate is very less. Means the loss of water is reduced through aerial parts. In that particular situation, the excess water lost through this pores, through these hydrathodes. Thus, this loss of water or this escape of water is nothing but a guttation. Clear? Generally, these hydrathodes are present in tip of the leaf or in the margins of the leaves. Tip of the leaf or in the margins of the leaf. So, if you see the leaf and the leaf margin, so see there are small like this, like this. Okay. So the ends of vesicular elements, the tracheids or the contact with some loosely arranged cells are called epitheme. If you see the structure of this hydrathodes, this is the structure. For example, just imagine this is a tip of, veins. Okay, this is the tip of the veins, nothing but a vascular bundles. What is there in the vascular bundles? Xylem and phloem. So if you see the xylem, xylem is meant for transportation of water. So the same was shown like this here. This is a tip of a leaf. Just imagine. This is the internal structure. This is an internal structure. In the tip, we see there is a stoma. See, this is a chamber, stomatal chamber. Empty place is there. Just above that, there is a guard cell. Clear? Okay. So just below this chamber, there is loosely arranged tissue is there. This loosely arranged tissue is known as epitheme. So just you observe the picture. Okay. Clear? In each hydrothode, the terminal pore followed by a loosely arranged a thin walled cell called this epitheme. Clear? This is blindly ending with tracheids. These are all tracheids. Tracheids are ended up to here only. Blind tracheids are ended up to here only. Then next followed by epitheme. Clear? So here this is the structure of hydrathodes. Just you remember here. So next one is resin ducts and oil ducts. Here you all know the substance like resins, gums, oils, other miscellaneous substances. So produced by the special tissue, both in angiosperms as well as in the gymnosperms. Okay. So here we will see one by one. We will see one by one. If you see the internal secretory tissues or structures, so there are three main important parts are there. One is secretory cells. Second one is oil glands. Third one is latiferous, latiferous tissue. So one by one, first one is secretory cells. These are the specialized cells generally which are found in a ground tissue. Okay. So these generally named the cells based on their function, secretory function. So which produce oils, resins, gums, tannins, and some miscellaneous substances. Miscellaneous substances. So, for example, oil glands. Here, okay, next one is oil glands. So, most of the plants they possess oil glands. Okay, they may be composed of small group of thin-walled dense cytoplasmic cells, okay, which perform this secretory function. These secretions generally this plant secretes this I mean oils in a maybe in the form of maybe due to the cytogenous cavities or lysogenous cavities. Okay, we will see these two definition in your next slide. So the best example for this oil glands is a eucalyptus. You all know the eucalyptus. From the eucalyptus leaves, you will get the eucalyptus oil. This is cytogenous oil glands. And the second best example is citrus. You all know the citrus fruits or citrus leaves. From the citrus leaf or citrus fruits, they possess oil glands. So this is a lysogenous oil glands. So two examples are there. One is eucalyptus. In the eucalyptus there is a cytogenous oil glands. Second one is citrus. In the citrus, whatever the glands are there, they are lysogenous oil glands. Okay, these are the two examples for oil glands which produce oils. So here, in spite of these means oil glands, there are some ducts, resin ducts. Generally found these resin ducts in gymnosperms like pinus and other coniferous plants. They produce resins. They are very important for, commercially they are very useful. Clear? So these are the diagrammatic representations. So here this is an internal glands. So this is an resin duct. Here one more thing is there, that is osmophores. Osmophores are some special areas on floral organs, so which are different structure from the neighboring cells and produce some fragrance to attract the insects. The main function of this osmophores is they produce some fragrance, good smell. Clear? So which attract the insects. So this fragrance flower is due to volatile oils. Due to volatile oils. So these volatile compounds, I mean terpenoids, particularly terpenoids. So which means whenever they expose to the air, then they give a good fragrance. This fragrance generally attract the insects because they are having a volatile nature. They are having volatile natures. Okay. These substances at an appropriate temperature diffuse out of the cell in a gaseous form. Okay. Then they produce a fragrance. So the osmophores create terpenes as the main fragrant material. So the chemical compound generally in this here is terpenes. So the point is here, osmophores generally present in floral organs which produce a fragrance which attract the insects. Clear? So whatever the fragrance or the chemical present in the floral part, at appropriate temperature, they diffuse out of the cell in the form of gas. Clear? So the main chemical in this osmophores or in this fragrance is terpenes. Next one is the most important one is, yeah. So here we will see the difference between the cygogenous and lysogenous cavities. See, these are the two cavities. So first we will see the cygogenous cavity. So cygogenous cavities from by the separation of a glandular cell initial, resulting in a space lined by secretory epithelial cells. Here you all know intracellular spaces. You see, like intracellular spaces, there is a space here. This space is due to the separation of glandular cell initials. Okay. So this, you see, this is a special lined cells are there. These are epithelial cells. Okay. The intracellular substance dissolves partially and an intracellular space develops here. Whatever the materials are there, whatever the secretions are there in the neighboring or surrounding cells, which secrete into this chamber, this space. Okay. So whenever we make a cut, of this tissue like this, the stored material or secretion will come out from this chamber. So this is cygogenous cavity. Best example for this is secretory ducts in Compositae and Umbelliferae family. Next one is lysogenous cavities. Lysogenous means here the cavity is formed by the autolysis of glandular cells. Lysis means become means destroy. So here you see this entire area, whatever the cells are there, they become destroyed or autolyzed. So because of this region, there is a formation of a big chamber, big cavity. This cavity is a lysogenous cavity. So the secretions of the neighboring cell released into this cavity from here, here, here. Okay. So whenever we break this cavity, then this, material will come out or release. Okay. So this is because of the lysis of cells. Clear? Just you see, this is because of the formation is due to the autolysis of glandular cells. Best example for this is eucalyptus and citrus. So if you crush the eucalyptus leaf, then which releases the eucalyptus oil? Means the whatever the cavities are there, we are directly means break the cavities. The same thing is in the case of citrus also. Here, break this citrus leaf or fruit. Then which produce these secretions. So this is difference between cystogenous and lysogenous cavities. Next one is latiferous tissue. So this is a most important and last one. So this is a specialized parenchyma cells. Okay. So these specialized parenchyma cells which secrete a white viscous fluid. This white milky viscous fluid is termed as a latex. See, this is a white viscous fluid. So generally this latex is in the most of the plants, latex is in white in color. Best example is Ficus bengalensis means banyan tree, Murray. Second example is Calotropis procera, Calotropis gigantea, Gilledu. Clear? In these two cases, several known examples, we will see the latex in white color. But in some plants, the latex is yellow in color also. For example, Papaver and Cannabinaceae plants. Here, this is a Papaver somniferum. In Telugu, we call it as a Nallamandu. So, this if you make a cut on this capsule, then which produce some latex. Here in this latex, there are some alkaloids. So they are very useful for making medicines. Second example is papaya. In the papaya, there is a papain. So if you make any small cut on unripened papaya, which you would use a latex. Next one is a rubber plant. This is a rubber plant. Hevia braziliensis. This is a medium-sized tree. If you make cut on the stem, which produce a latex, then a latex is to collect it and make a shade dry. So from this latex, we used to make a commercial rubber. So this is a rubber tree. So these are the best example for latiferous tissues. So or latex tissue, or simply we call it as a latex tissue. Clear? Next important one is These latissiferous tissue is two types. Based on the structure and development, this latissiferous tissue are identified in two types. One is, latex cells or non-articulated latissiferous cells. Second one is latex vessels. See, these are the latex vessels or articulated latissiferous tissue. See, here only one cell is there. Here only one cell is there. This is a one cell only. But here, whatever the cells are there, they take their fusion and form a duct, form a vessel. So they are interconnected. Clear? This is a latex cell, this is a latex vessel. So now first one, we will see the latex cell. Okay. So generally these latex cells are arises from the meristematic cells. Okay. They take their growth further and enlarged by apical extensions and become a distinct because of their large size we clearly see in these cells. They may be branched or unbranched. They are elongated. Clear? So they produce a latex. They produce latex. Next one is vessels. These vessels are also called as articulated latissiferous tissue or latex ducts or latissiferous duct. Okay. Generally, which originate from a row of cells in a continuous series by partial or total dissolution of end walls. So, for example, this is an end wall up to here, but the end wall become dissolute. Okay. Then they take the fusion of this next cell. Then they form a vessel. Second thing, most important thing is they are cenocytic in nature. So these are all nucleus. They possess more number of nucleus. That is cenocytic conditions. Numerous nucleus scattered through the throughout the cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, there is numerous nuclei, which may be branched or unbranched. These vessels may be branched. This is an unbranched. Here, this is a branched vessel. So the most common examples for these vessels are, Caricaceae. Caricaceae means Carica papaya, papaya. Sapotaceae, Acris sapota, sapota. Okay, these are the best examples. Clear? Next, what are the uses or what are the functions of this latissiferous tissue? So the main function is to produce a latex. This latex having a great commercial value, especially for making the rubber. It is the main source for rubber. One is heavy abrasilensis, plant name for this production of rubber is Hevea braziliensis. Next one is Ficus species. And for the production of some important alkaloids like papain, carica papaya. Okay, and if you see the Epaver somniferum, which produce some alkaloids. Okay, also these produce some stored food material as a reserve nutrition. Okay, and so which regulate and maintain the water balance in the plant, and which help in the conduction of food substances also. These are the secondary functions. Okay, this is about the special tissues or secretory tissues. Okay, I will stop here.